I know like in different parts of the world and even in the UK, it's not always going to be A, B, C, D for grades or like A plus, A star. But let's just use that for now, yeah? Let's say a kid gets a C, yeah? He or she will actually think they are a C student, bro. Like they identify as a C and they think, oh my gosh, I'm not good at this. And these times learning isn't about boundaries.
It's not linear.
It's not linear. But also even the way we do it, like grade boundaries, yeah? And obviously I'm not saying there's a reason why it's done this way. But like the boundaries are in place,
people stick in between the lines.
So now you have friends that think I'm not good at maths because they were dead at maths that time. They didn't take into consideration that the teacher that taught you probably went and revised the maths lesson that you didn't do well in that topic in the night before, because teachers are human beings and sometimes you forget things, right? So they're thinking, oh, I'm rubbish. No, the teacher didn't bring their best version of teaching to you for that topic. Other kids may have had help, they've got brothers at home. You're not thinking about all the factors that go into actually getting a good grade for that specific moment in your life. For it to then extrapolate and become like, oh my gosh, I'm just not good at maths.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm not good at reading. Oh my gosh, I'm not good at this, yeah?
So what you're trying to say is, that putting these grades on the students, because what you actually, I kind of understand what you're saying, and I feel like it can rub off on people also the right way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might have happened with me. Yeah, because I've always been A student, B student, or whatever it is, innit? So when I don't do well in something, I always think, that's not a reflection of me, and I then go harder in that thing to make sure that it matches what else I have. Do you know, I know this a bit weird here, but it reminds me of when you draw the lines, when you draw the lines on like the ant, like with a pen, and it doesn't, like the insects never move past the line that you draw. It's not that they can't, I don't know why they can't go, but I feel like that.
And what I'm saying, I think children or teenagers are too young to use those hardcore things with. I'm not saying I have a solution right now, but even if you communicate to them better that, okay guys, right now specifically in this moment in time, for that specific test you got a this grade. That's not a reflection of your ability. Because even in parents even, the way teachers talk about things, oh yeah, your kid's at this level and this and this. No, they're not at that level. For that particular moment in time, for that particular day, just like with football, I'm sure there's days when whoever the good footballers at the time, there's other days, but you won't use that one match and then say, well, for the rest of the term, because you know the season's, isn't it? You'll get a kid and get a grade, and that's them for the rest of the term. They're that grade. If Saka has a bad match,
I was just about to say
Saka has a bad match, he's not that for the rest of the season.
He don't have bad matches though.
But that's what I'm saying.
But talk about Odegaard. You use Odegaard.
Whoever, insert your favourite or your worst favourite.
No, just use Odegaard. It'll make it hit better for me.
Let's say if Odegaard had a bad match, that doesn't mean he's a bad player for the rest of the season.
True.
You know what I'm trying to say?
True.
And even if he has a bad season, it doesn't mean he's a bad player. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So there's so many factors, especially with kids, like emotionally, things can be going on at home. Like there's so many different factors here that can go to why you got a bad grade. The grade boundary thing to me doesn't make sense. But why I think it's even worse is the way we've weaponized, I'm going to say weaponized grade boundary.
No, we do.
You know what?
Against the children. Parents do that a lot, by the way.
I think I know where you're going, but I'm going to go to a different place.
Oh, okay.
What I mean by is this. Okay, ask yourself a question. Why can't everybody in the class or everybody in the year get an A star?
So, actually, I might know where you're going with this. I had something in my head that I wanted to speak about, but can I take it out of there and take it to uni? Yeah?
You can.
I want to take it to uni only because, it was in uni that I learned that there was something that the people in engineering called the curve, innit? Yeah, where it was like, only a certain amount, whatever grade you got, cool, you got 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, whatever, but a certain number of people would get the A's, a certain number of people could get the B's, and it was fixed. They couldn't, everybody can't graduate with a first, etc. So the grades and the boundaries were actually shifted so that that happened. And I used to think of it as like, a certain number of people can graduate into the elite, and then there has to be these people, then there has to be like the workers and stuff like that. Not saying that the man that got C are workers, but I kind of saw it like that. Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. And my thing is that's not real, that's manufactured.
Yeah, that's manufactured.
And I feel like it's toxic and it spills it has a negative effect. I think it has a negative effect on the wider society. So for example, let's say all of us, and I didn't want to use uni grade boundaries because it's like 2-1 first, it can get a bit blurry. If someone young's watching this, they might not get that yet. So I'm going to go back to like the normal A, B, C. Let's say everybody in the country gets an A for GCSE maths. They're not going to let that run. They're going to be like, no, we only want a certain percentage of them to get an A. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So what they'll do is, they'll make the grade boundary that year super high. So let's say normally to get an A, you need to get 70% out of 100. and everybody got 70%. So they're going to be like, no, now to get an A, you need to get 90% and above. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But why I think it doesn't make sense is that the following year, if everybody gets a C, they're going to be like, no, everyone can't have a C. So normally if a C is 40%, they're going to be like, all right, this year a C is 40%. This year a B is 29%. This year a C is 15%.
You mean this year an A is 40%?
Yeah, this year an A is 40%. This year a B is 29%. This year a C is 15%. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But then the employers and like the colleges or whoever's taking on those next cohort of kids, they don't know that.
Yeah,
we're looking at hundreds and thousands of students as if this A means the same as this A.
But it doesn't. Each year varies. Oh, the system is broken.
Yeah. So you could be talking to someone, who got a C, who in his year, the grade boundaries were through the roof. Because it was literally, everybody was...
Yeah. And not only could it be like something happened with the teacher that year that made the grade boundaries through the roof because maybe everybody did really well, or the teachers might have been really good that year, or the test might have been really easy that year. Yeah. And these things aren't shown when that one letter is put on your name.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've never thought about it like that.
But this is the thing, there's people walking through life, you got a first, you got a 2-1, you got a 2-2. You don't know you got a 2-2. Any other year it would have been a first. You don't know that.
Oh,
but you crazy. You beat yourself up.
No, but you kind of know. No. In uni, actually for engineering.
Some people know. Some people don't know.
In engineering, they made it a thing to let us know about the curve.
Yeah, but my thing is this, even if you do know, you're dealing with people who don't necessarily know that. And they know, and even if they do know, they're not treating it like.
No, but there's nothing you can do, because even if you do know, at the end of the day, it says 2-2 on your paper.
Thank you.
And that's what you're gonna now identify with. No, even you. I can't use myself
when
as
I say
an example.
identify, I mean certain people, let's say you worked hard, and this is where it comes to like now individual, like how you react to things.
Yeah.
Someone can get a 2-2 who's like, I'm a first class student, bro. You can't tell me I didn't get a first class.
Yeah.
And they can react to that, like, they can react to the point where, even if you think there's a video, they'll be like, yo, I just got marked wrong. And I just don't care. You know what I'm trying to say? Another person will beat themselves up and be like, man, I was a first class student, I fell off. I don't know what happened, I just didn't do it. And then they go down a whole different path in life because they feel like they failed when they mattered the most, and it affects them in a different way. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, from primary school to secondary school to whatever, whether you have kindergarten, high school, whatever your education system is, the way grades are used, I don't think it's effective. Even for things like this,
Yeah.
Think about in the real world. In the real world, if, all the managers in the workplace, for a company, are just sick, they're really good managers.
Yeah.
So they help everyone's productivity level to go up.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be like, oh no, hold on a second, why are all the workers doing so well?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
No, it doesn't work.
And you're not gonna
like
say,
that.
oh, well, you only done really well because the economy was easy. Because you know sometimes when bare kids do well, you're now discrediting the teacher's teaching by saying it was an easy test. No, we taught these kids, man. What are you talking about? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get you.
It's not a reflection of reality, like in terms of how the real world works. It doesn't work. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, if you can think of a solution to this, you can solve a lot of world problems if you're watching at home. Because right now,